Hello and welcome to the What's Good with Gil and Lary podcast. I am Gil and Lary. That is my main man, top left, Larry Loper, with special guest Matt Shackelford. Matt, how you doing? How you doing? So happy to have you here. How
Oh
are you?
man, happy to be here, Gil. Thank you, sir. Pleasure,
Awesome.
Yes,
Larry.
sir.
Good to see you, my man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure having you on our show, man. Definitely.
Pleasure
You
to
know,
be here.
what's great is that Matt and Larry were both at my wedding just over a year ago. So reunited, and it feels so good.
Right.
Today's show will not, I repeat, not be a sports show, even though that is primarily what we do. Our fans, our followers, our subscribers know that is not the only thing we do. And today I present the Movie Club special edition with special guest Matt Shackelford. And the movie that the three of us will be reviewing today is the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. The three of us watched it opening weekend, not together, but we watched it opening weekend. And so we're going to talk about the movie, review it, talk about the things we liked, which is probably going to be the majority of the movie. Maybe a couple things we could have done a little better or a little differently. It depends on your own point of view. And then we will end the show with our top 10 vigilante superheroes. Let's see how many the three of us have together. I'm going to guess right now. I'm going to say Larry and I have 7 of the same together. Matt, I'm going to say you and I have 6 of the same together.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Predictions.
So there you go.
Predictions.
So just a quick overview of the Deadpool Wolverine movie, plot-wise, just to get it started. Wade Wilson uses Cable's time travel device to bring back all the people he ever cared about and asks Happy Hogan, the guy who worked for Tony Stark, to see if he could join the Avengers. He gets rejected. Decides to leave that life behind and becomes a used car salesman. Then on his birthday, in his apartment, he gets kidnapped by the very authority. Those are the guys that, do the whole time travel, time guidance kind of thing. And the guy in charge at this particular moment is someone by the name of the Paradox. And he reveals that Wade Wilson's timeline is deteriorating as a result of the death of Logan, a.k.a. the Wolverine. So that sets up the movie. That's kind of the first 20 minutes or so of the movie. There's a whole nother 2 hours after.
Right.
So taking it from there, what did you think of the premise of the fact that that in order to get the timeline to stop disintegrating and ultimately completely ending, which is what the Paradox, his plan actually was to happen. What do you think of the fact that Wade Wilson, Deadpool, has to go not only back in time, but he has to go to all other multiverses to find the right Wolverine to bring back to correct his timeline? And apparently it was the Wolverine that's considered the worst one for whatever reason. Well, what would you guys think of that premise? The fact that the Wolverine is the one that's going to save the timeline. Matt, we're going to start with you. You're the guest.
Very interesting conception-wise to think that Wolverine of all people would be the one to save the timeline to begin with, other than the fact that it's straight up fan service, which is, more than anybody could ask for. It was fantastic. I think the journey through finding the Wolverine that was the only one I think that was gonna help him out was absolutely hilarious. I loved the references. I absolutely had a blast through, watching the comic accurate My Height Wolverine with the little V-neck and, obviously Henry Cavill coming in there and, was surprised we didn't get the Daniel Radcliffe that was teased everywhere, was kind of expecting that. But I definitely thought it was very just interesting, the way they handled that. And the I'm a little with the TVA stuff just because I'm fresh off of rewatching Loki and all that to prep. So it's interesting to see, but it was very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. The journey through all of that was cool to see. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Cavill do his famous reload the fists scene when he did
I
the
don't
claws?
I didn't recognize that. I know what you're talking about. That's the scene from the Mission Impossible that he
Hmm.
did with Tom Cruise. Not the last one, but the previous one when
Right.
there was that fight scene in the bathroom and he
Yeah,
did
he's been
the
known to
one
do the
two shadow
same.
box kind of deal that
Yeah.
broke the internet for some reason. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't. I'll have to go back, but it doesn't. I picked up on a lot of things, and I did not pick up on that, so I don't think he did it. But I thought
Okay.
it was pretty cool that he did play one version of Wolverine. I love the fact that they got the one that had the eye patch. I
Yes.
love that they had that one. Larry, what'd you think? What'd you think of the fact that a Canadian, Logan, is the
Logan
one
at.
that had to save Deadpool's timeline?
Oh man, I thought it was first and foremost, man. You gotta get the spoiler away a little bit for me before I even saw the movie. I didn't know it was gonna be based on the TVA and the Loki and the timeline. So
Oh.
I didn't
Oh.
know until I talked to
Ah.
Gil. Gil kind of let me know ahead of time how it was gonna go down. So I already had a preconception of
Okay.
how it
Glad I
was.
didn't ruin that.
Yeah, so it was like, I was like, okay, I kind of knew the subplot before it could hit me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, when I was looking at it, I was like, okay. Now, because now I know how they was going to do it. So I was like, okay, how can they bring this? Can they make it happen? So when he was going through all the different, like he was saying, when he was going through all the different Wolverines, I thought it was hilarious getting to the worst Wolverine. You know what I mean? Because Wolverine was true to form, man. He was rough. Like Wolverine never wanted it. Every time they came, beat it. We always had something slick to say. So just leading to that whole storyline I thought was crazy though. And how it started off. The opening was just it's Deadpool, so it's hilarious how the opening started off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought it was. I liked the way it led up to that. I did. I thought it was interesting, that especially different variants of Wolverine. To get to that last one.
Do you think they could do another Deadpool Wolverine, or if they continue with Deadpool, it has to be Deadpool without Wolverine? Do you think they could do another Wolverine? I mean, Hugh Jackman's not getting any younger. He's aging very, very well. But if you look at the closing credits,
Yeah, they left rooms open. Yeah,
when they show him young from like the first and second one, and you see him now, you could see a little age difference there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. With the Marvel universe, man, they can do anything, but
Mm-hmm.
They kind of left room for that thought to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the Wolverine's looking, Hugh's looking old, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you could bring it in at. You know what I mean? Because I thought Logan was going to be the end result, because he was old, right? Then you found a way to bring him back in this one. I was like, okay. So I don't know. I think that I don't know. When I left the movie theater, I thought the same thing. I was kind of up in the air, like, man, they might bring it back, because with that variant, with the time TVA, with the variant and everything, there's so many things you could do with it. So it's always an open book.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they could introduce a new Wolverine by this whole multiverse thing that is really the last couple of years has taken the MCU by storm? Even DC Comics with Flash.
Yeah. You know what? That could be a great possibility. Actually, that could be a great possibility. How they could do that. Indeed, because I know they're going to do it with Blade. I know they're going to try to do it with Blade.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah. So
Snipes.
Yeah, I can see them. I mean, because I can't see them just letting it die off with Hugh Jackman. I think they'll probably do it like they did the Spider-Man. When Spider-Man went through the different forms of Spider-Man, which we can get into that a little later. With the different characters playing Spider-Man, I think they could, bring a different person to play Wolverine. He would have to be. I don't know the way they've been recasting they've been pulling it off. So at times I can be like, I don't know, but then every time they kind of recast somebody like Superman, I didn't think they could make a better Superman, but I can't see Henry Cavill as not being Superman now. Like they did a great job. I think he's like the best Superman outside of Christopher Reeves that you're gonna find.
Have you paid attention to some of this breaking news that's been happening at the San Diego Comic-Con? You probably have, Matt. You've probably seen how some people are being recast.
Yeah.
The big one got revealed when the new Doctor Doom took off his.
Yeah. They talking about bringing Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And so as they going to do that is once again the multiverse. How they going to do that? I could see him like he went.
The rumor I heard was he's going to be a Tony Stark Doctor Doom. He's not going to be a Victor Von Doom. That's what I heard.
So I've heard both variations of that recently, where it could be a Victor Von Doom. I'm hoping it's a Tony Stark that just went full suit of armor around the world and became Doctor Doom, just taking on that title as Tony Stark. Yeah, 100%. That would be so much better.
Does he go the villain route? Is he going to go like just? Is he still going to be superhero route though? Doctor Doom was always a villain. So
what if?
Doctor Doom just wanted peace, and he was willing to do whatever it took. And for a while there, he went back to Latveria after so many battles and just said, "All right, leave me alone. Don't come to my country." And anytime he was invaded, he was like, "All right, I'm just going to have to show my power again." Where it's kind of flip of a coin with Doctor Doom. He wanted the power, he wanted to take over.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side where he's like, all right, I'm chilling. So it could be either way.
What if Captain America was never defrosted and he wasn't there to oppose everything that Tony Stark said and wanted to do? With the weapons and the shield around the earth and stuff like that. What if Tony actually got everything that he wanted? What would have been the result? Because then he would have the ultimate power, and ultimate power seems to create evil characters and protagonist. That's how I see it.
That's a good theory. Yeah,
that is a good theory.
What did you think, Matt, of how the movie went as far as bringing in the variance authority and the time traveling and going back and forth? Are they doing too much with this multiverse? Are they doing just enough? It does allow us to bring back actors playing characters that we loved. So in that sense, I can't see it being bad, but I do feel, me personally, I do feel like they are dipping into that well a lot now. What do you think?
So here's what I'm hoping is that Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man No Way Home, Deadpool, Wolverine, the Loki TV show. I'm hoping this is leading the next phase of Marvel out of multiverse. To where I feel like they're struggling right now, just behind the scenes, trying to get actors, trying to get people that aren't messing up in Hollywood and getting canceled, or aren't too busy with schedules, or casting musicians, or TV stars that need to come in and then do movies, or it's just or Disney and Marvel and they're all struggling right now to try to find solid characters, and right now they're just making so much money bringing back the old characters. And right now I feel like they're having fun with it. They're giving the fans what they want. They're giving those comic accurate scenes. They're doing exactly what everybody wants. A tweet gets very popular, 1 billion likes, and then they just put that guy in the movie because why not? John Krasinski is as Reed Richards, just off of a meme, basically. So personally, I feel like the TVA, and I don't know if you noticed, I know, Larry, you said you haven't seen the Loki, but Gil, on the Loki, if you're caught up on there, where it's the time stream was splintering, and they were, what they said,
Yeah.
pruning all the extra timelines.
Yep.
So it was massive in Loki, but on the screen in Deadpool Wolverine, it was a lot smaller. There was a lot less
Yeah.
timelines going on. So
Thank
personally,
God, too.
I love what they've done. I love the characters coming back. I think I'm done personally with all the multiverse craziness. It's too much. I feel like, it's a lot. If you're going to do the fan service, make me a Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. Make it a good script. Make good villains. Give me that, but don't cram 90 other characters in it for 2-second cameos to just be like, oh, that was cool, and then but they don't really do anything. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
but that would be my take on the multiverse. Is I hope it's winding down, but I enjoyed the ride.
I'm in pretty much of the agreement. I love the aspect of the multiverse. Like I said, I love bringing back actors playing characters that I thought they were done.
Mhm.
But at the same time, use that platform to now maybe give Michael Keaton one more Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe give Patrick Stewart one more X-Men or something like that. Launch pad that. Don't let it just be a cameo for one movie. I like that it's a movie, but then I feel like it's falling short. Like it's got so much potential to build into something else to continue, and you're just leaving it flat. Listen, I'll let the cat out of the bag. Still, my favorite Marvel movie is Spider-Man: No Way Home. I think that was the best still, and that came out 2 or 3 years ago now at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was like as close to a perfect Marvel movie as there is. The fact that you were able to bring in the other two Spider-Men with the villains,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely, because I didn't care too much for the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, those two.
Yeah.
But they were a little slow, and I
Yeah.
thought they were a little bit on the dramatic side.
I did
But-
too.
Right.
But bringing him back with his villains and the tear jerking part on how their Uncle Ben died and stuff like that, which was the same but different, and with great power comes great responsibility. I like that. I like that. I like that there's a different version, how they can finish each other's sentence. But you're right. Yeah, bring back another Tobey Maguire. Let him do one more. He's the same age as me. He could pull it off. He's younger than Hugh Jackman, and he won't have to do kind of fight scenes. And there'll be a lot of CGI with that, so it could be done. I think it could be done. What do you think when I asked Larry about bringing back another Wolverine by kind of doing a timeline thing where Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine goes into another multiverse and finds another young version of him, and then they can stick with that actor? Or what about going with this girl that they brought back that's kind of like his daughter from Logan?
Yeah, X-23. Yeah.
X-23. What do you think about because she's young?
Man, that'd be dope.
Hitching your wagon to her for a decade or two.
I could do the X-23. I honestly, she's vicious, she's brutal, she's no nonsense. I don't see a boyfriend melodrama movie coming with the way she's acting. I feel like it would be straight up like that movie that was turned into a series, Hannah, where the girl was trained to be like an assassin. Like it would just be like that scene in Logan where he's running through the woods on the adrenaline. Like just give me X-23 doing that for 10 years and I'd be so satisfied.
Man,
what do you think, Larry?
Yeah, I think that would be a great way to transition into, because you already led the breadcrumbs. You already kind of led the foundation for it to happen, right? We already set the character. When you introduce something new, you got to first be able to, kind of wean it off on the people. You can't just throw it out there because it comes on weird if you just throw it at us, right? So I think that, and we're seeing her grow up. She's younger when we saw her in Logan.
Right. Yep.
This one, she got older. So now the next phase is her starting to phase into her adulthood, which hey, you could build a real good series around there, a couple movies around it. So yeah, I think that'd be a great transition to go to the next phase of Wolverine, which would be
Right.
his daughter.
Plus, it doesn't have to be set in America. You know,
Right.
in the first movie, she wasn't speaking English.
Mm-mm.
She
Mhm.
did in this one, but she didn't in the first one. You know, what if they did bring her to like Spain or Colombia? You know, with all the drug cartel going on in some of those countries, or Italy or something like that. I think that'd be pretty dope. That's one of the things that I really like about the James Bond movies and the Mission
Yeah.
Impossible movies. The fact that a lot of them are in Europe,
Yes.
you know, or in South America or something like that. Or
Well,
in
it makes
Asia.
for some great shooting locations.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
like the car chasing scenes,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
driving on a cobblestone road that's
Yeah.
so narrow. I love scenes like that. You know,
Absolutely.
now we have the technology. MCU, which is funded by Disney, you know, money, they can do it at
That's a
all.
fact.
Whatever your imagination is on paper, they can put it to life in front of the camera.
You know, we and then as you know, we know we're big kids, right? This is stuff we used to dream about when we was kids, man. Like to see all this come out and the way they're doing it, they're making it like, you know, you relive that kid being a kid again, man. Every time I go see a Marvel movie, I can't say on the DC side because sometimes they drop the ball on the DC side, man. But the Marvel side, like being that kid again, man, looking at comics, saying, man, I wonder if they made a movie out of this. Now we're in that era. We're in that era where our kids is comic. You know, they're used to it. It's nothing, but they don't understand like what our era when we came up, how we used to wish for these moments. You know what I mean? And I just think it's better. It's going to get better and better.
It's funny that you say how it's Marvel right now, not so much DC, because up until 1998, which was the first Blade movie, Marvel couldn't get a good movie going.
Yeah.
They just couldn't. It was DC all the way. It was DC with Batman, DC with Superman. You know what I mean? And then when they would do a Marvel movie, it would be cheesy, a cheesy TV Captain America, a cheesy Fantastic Four.
Green Lantern.
They couldn't do it.
Yep. You're right.
Not until I guess Iron Man.
Iron Man was the first one they asked, or was Spider-Man?
I think Blade, even though that's technically not the Marvel Studios at that time, before it's a Marvel character
for the others.
That was the first one. Marvel was the first one that was in the green as far as the budget and making money, and then able to do sequels after that. Now, the second movie of Blade was very good. The third one, not so great, but it made for a great line in this movie. And I don't know if you picked up on it, Larry. I got a feeling Matt picked up on it, but
when he was in the trailer. When he was...
Well, no, right in the beginning when Deadpool sees, you know, the new characters, the Elektra, the the Gambit and the Blade, and right away when Blade points his sword at Deadpool and says, "I don't like you," and then Deadpool says back to him, "We've already established this." That's a little hidden message from the third Blade movie, because apparently
he don't like you. Yeah, when he said
apparently they didn't care. Well, not so much Ryan Reynolds, but Wesley Snipes was kind of big timing the cast. One of those things where he was kind of forced contractually to do that third Blade movie when he didn't want to do it. So he was very standoffish to other characters, and as the story goes, Ryan Reynolds tried approaching him in the trailer, and he got told to get the F out.
Okay.
So, you know, there was that. I don't know if it was any more than that. I don't even know if that was completely true, but they played into it with that one line. So I want to get into favorite parts and what you wish maybe they would have done differently. I'll start with you, Matt. What were, you know, a couple of your favorite parts, whether you knew it was coming, you didn't know it was coming, and you're like, oh, that's what makes this movie special right now?
Oh, I gotta say the montage of finding the Wolverine the right one. That was top, one of the top points of the movie. It was just favorite full cameos. Was good. Um, I kind of liked. I don't know, the funny scene where he killed the one Deadpool and he didn't regenerate. I thought that was pretty funny. And then they killed the whole army and they all died and they all got back up. It was like, well, the continuity error that they're pointing out in the Deadpools and stuff. That was really funny. I really liked the scene where he pulls the mask up and has the Wolverine suit, and then he's on all fours and he's doing the Wolverine run and he's just jumping from, person to person and he's stabbing them. And it was just like, they definitely gave you what you wanted as far as Wolverine.
Yeah.
That was I could die happy now with him wearing the suit. I will honestly say, and I know this defeats the whole purpose of a Deadpool movie being the merc with the mouth, I could have done with just a hair less of the Ryan Reynolds jokes every 10 seconds for 2.5 hours. By the end of the movie, I was like, it's funny, but wow, that was just a lot of quips.
It wears you out, doesn't it?
It does, man. I agree.
A little bit,
I agree. I totally agree, man. Totally agree. I was like, yeah, but it was like overkill. Sometimes like overkill. It's cool when it kind of hits you like.
Yeah, he didn't really let it breathe.
One was just, come on.
Yeah,
we get it. You got one-liners, one-quitter hitters. We get it, right?
Yeah,
too much.
You poked some air holes in that movie, and I think it would have been just a little bit better if he was like just a little bit less of that. I think I don't know.
You become numb to all the remarks.
Yeah. So the really funny jokes are just white noise at this point.
Right. What about you, Larry? What was
I like the
favorite parts?
I like when the cameos came in with the Blade, Elektra, Gambit. I'm a big Gambit fan, so I'm glad how they brought Gambit in. And I love that fight scene when he went to go. I mean, the Xavier chick, Cassandra. Yeah. I wasn't too impressed by her fingers. Her skill set. I wasn't too impressed with the fingers and the head and all that.
In the comics, it's an old man, so it's creepy.
Yeah, it didn't do anything.
Made her a young woman,
Like how the villains normally get you like she's the main villain, right? But it wasn't like I was impressed with her as the villain. I wasn't impressed,
Right.
But I love this scene when they went back and was it Purgatory when they from the Loki series, the Great Abyss, when they came in and
the Variance Authority.
What was it called?
They called
the place TVA. They went to.
No. The destruction from the cloud when it came through. It looked like the demon, like the little. But Loki, had to go into it to find Kane. Remember? They had to face it because everybody kept running from it.
Oh, yeah.
But you had to run into it in order to get the King.
Yes. At the end of the first season of Loki.
Yeah. I forgot what it was called. I thought it was called Purgatory, but that when they was fighting, running from that, and they got to fighting the frog and all the villains and stuff. I thought that was cool. That was dope.
Yeah.
That was dope. And I love when they kind of went at it. It was. I don't know about when they was in the car. It was cool, Like you said, when they fought all the Deadpools, that was crazy. That was crazy. That's pretty much I guess them two fight scenes right there was like the main one for me, and I love the way it kind of ended too. With them coming together and stopping the Ripper when they stopped her from destroying his timeline and everything. I thought that was dope. But it was, if I'm gonna scale it, I wouldn't say it was the best one for me, but it was cool. If we're gonna talk about Deadpools, it would probably be my second best one. You know what I mean?
How would you rank the Deadpools, the three of them, first, second, third?
I like number 2 better than I like the 1. So I say 2-1. Matter of fact, this would be probably my third best one. I say 2-1 and this one. For
Okay.
me.
How about you,
I
Matt?
like the one.
How about you, Matt? How would you rank all 3?
So I think I'd probably go Deadpool, Wolverine, Deadpool 2. Just because I felt like if the Marvel Studios spent 6 more months, it wouldn't have looked so CGI with the Juggernaut stuff, and was good movie. Some of the casting was the acting was, I felt Deadpool 2 was just Deadpool, like the second half of Deadpool 1, but it was just like more of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, could do a little something different here. It's like, all right, got baby legs, baby arms, like, I don't know. It's just kind of, for me, it felt like more of the same. So this one at least added Wolverine, and we got to see a lot of cool stuff in there. So
Right.
that's how I would rate them. What do you think, Gil? You agree?
I would rank this third one my number 1, then the first one, and then the second one would be my third favorite for a lot of the reasons. I didn't mind the Juggernaut because the one line that Ryan Reynolds had was CGI battle is about to happen between him and Colossus. That was pretty cool. And there's a big rivalry in the comic books with those two guys, so it was good to see them two get at it. Yeah, I don't remember the chubby kid from New Zealand. I don't remember his character's name, but I could have did without him. He did nothing for me.
Yes, I totally agree.
I did like the character Cable.
Yeah, Cable.
And the only thing was in the comic books, Cable is a big guy. He's a big, strong, past middle age guy, and they got Broden to play him, and Broden's my size. He's 5'11". Yeah, they got him in good shape, but he didn't have a physical intimidation stature that the comic book Cable had. And listen, I'm at a point now where I just have to accept recasting where a character who was white, they might have black, who was a male, might be a female, whatever. I've come to just expect that. But if a guy's supposed to be big and strong and intimidating, and he's average size or less, to me, there's not enough movie magic, to change that. Listen, when they got him to play Thanos, he looked like Thanos.
Yeah.
Big, strong, it worked. But having him as Cable, it looked like me, playing Cable. That's how I felt. I mean, I can get in shape. Give me 6 months, I can get in shape. But it doesn't mean I'm going to be physically, intimidating. I mean, it will work better for you, Larry. You're quite a bit taller than I am. So, you started to swell up. You could pass for like a Luke Cage or something like that. I think that'd be
Christmas.
Or even the next generation Blade, maybe it'd be you. Maybe it'd be you. Maybe it'd be you. Or, whatever, Martian Manhunter. My point is I could see you, because you're physically bigger than myself and a lot bigger than Matt, playing a superhero that's supposed to be physically imposing versus like a Josh Brolin who, he's still the guy from Goonies as far as I'm concerned. That's how I see it. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I think when you said casting could have been better, I think casting could have been better in that one. Now, I'll get to a few of the things that I really liked. So I liked that in this movie, they mentioned the Avengers, the X-Men, and mutants all throughout the movie. You never got that before. You never heard in an Avengers movie them talk about X-Men. You never heard X-Men in an X-Men movie talk about the Avengers. And the fact that they were able to mesh Avengers and X-Men, and they showed that Fox Studios was dead and didn't have the rights to Deadpool anymore.
Yeah,
now you could
that was great.
You could put Deadpool in an Avengers movie. You could put him in an X-Men movie, a real one, not like how in the first one where he made fun of the fact that there's only 2 or 3 of the same characters. You know, so I really like that. I loved the fight scene in the minivan, and my favorite part was the very beginning when they just are about to fight and Wolverine bumps into the radio. Did you catch that song that played for half a second? Matt, did you catch it?
I don't remember that, no.
For half a second, they played a song from The Greatest Showman, which Hugh Jackman.
Oh, what? Did they really?
Yes,
oh,
they did.
my goodness.
It's the one that goes, it starts off like that. It was
that's the main song. Yes.
When you watch it again, as soon as that fight starts, he's going to bump into the radio. That song's going to play, and then he's going to bump into it again, and then it'll be, the song that was throughout the whole fight scene. That fight scene,
wow.
Awesome. But I love how it started with The Greatest Showman. I love some of those lines, those personal lines where Deadpool was like, talking about Wolverine. Yeah, he really let himself go since the divorce, which we all know Hugh Jackman went through a divorce last year.
Yeah.
So, that was pretty funny. And my third favorite part, and you mentioned this earlier, Matt, I love the fact that throughout the whole movie, Wolverine was wearing the costume.
Yeah.
We have waited almost 25 years for him to don the costume that he wore all throughout the comics. Mm-hmm. I thought really in Days of Future Past, he was going to wear it. He did not. Mm-hmm. So I had just come to the point where he's never going to wear it since in 2017 was when Logan came out, and he said that was the last time he was going to play the character. So the fact that this movie, he got to wear it the whole time. And then when he got rid of the sleeves, and then he put on the mask, like you said, and started doing the crawl.
Yeah.
Like people who, like the three of us who read the comics and in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, that's what we've been thinking about. And I'm going to give my wife credit here because she said this to me a couple weeks ago. Nostalgia is a feeling. It's a feeling you get. Mm. And when you go through that nostalgia of something like that happening, while you're watching the movie, you get a feeling. It puts you somewhere else. While you're watching it, it's putting me on a certain street back in 1987 when I'm trading my my comic books with my friend at the time. I can, and that's a moment that I had forgotten about, and I got reminded of as I'm watching that movie.
Yeah.
Because I had the one where Wolverine fights the Hulk, and he's got the blades out, and the reflection of the Hulk is. I had that in mint condition, and I traded it like an idiot.
Wow!
I traded it. I had it in mint condition. I bought. So picture a guy with no money. They were 75 cents each at the time. Okay. Which still was my budget. For someone who didn't work, that was 12 years old, that was my budget. And I bought two so I can read one and leave the other one in the plastic untouched. And I traded the one that I didn't read. I traded it.
No.
Within an hour, I regretted it. Within an hour.
I can't even imagine.
Breaks my heart. That's a 12-year-old just letting the moment, curiosity, because the cover of another magazine, another comic book caught my interest. And, he's not going to let you read it and then you decide if you want it or not.
Yeah.
He didn't read mine. I didn't read his. You take that chance. Mm-hmm. In comic book stores now, you can just take one and walk around a whole store and look through it. Back in the day, you had to pick it up and you had to decide by the cover, do you want it or not?
It's a fact.
You want it or not? And you had to roll the dice, take a chance. That's why I collected a lot of Avengers, because it seemed like every single issue had my interest, even more than X-Men. And I used to argue with people that were into X-Men when I was into Avengers. And of course, you have the debate who would win and stuff like that. Your 5 against my 5.
Yeah.
And
days, man.
Yeah, those were the days. So yeah, a moment like that in the movie brings back a memory for me. Now I'm gonna go negative here, and it's not a big negative. Neither one of you mentioned it, so I like that. I'm gonna bring this up. When they were going through looking at the other Wolverines and stuff like that, the first one was a little guy, a little Wolverine, which in the comic books, he's small. He's not 6'2" like Hugh Jackman is. Okay,
Yeah.
he's small.
He's 5'4", I think, in the comics.
5'4", 5'5". So he's small. So when they brought out the little one, I was like, yes, that's one of the reasons why he's called Wolverine. You know, if he was a bigger guy, he'd be called the Lion or something like that.
Yeah.
But because he's small, Wolverine, Badger, Tasmanian Devil, you know, the smaller, deadlier kind of fighters. But I thought instead of CGIing Hugh Jackman in the 90s, the thing that I always used to hear is if there's an X-Men movie, if they're looking for someone to play Wolverine, the lead singer of the heavy metal band Danzig would be the guy to play him.
Jerry Only?
I always heard that. The lead singer of Danzig, who sang the song Mother, when we're over, go to YouTube, look up the song Mother by Danzig, and as soon as you see the guy singing, you'll say, holy shish kebab, that's Logan. That's what we always used to say. Get that guy to play Wolverine. I don't know if he can act. You can make him look younger, like, you know, Hollywood magic and stuff like that, because he's older than we are. Not a lot older. I don't even think he's Hugh Jackman's age, but let's say he is. You can still have had him play that. I thought that would have been perfect, because one of the things that I did like about this movie was I liked the fact that they had Channing Tatum play Gambit. Like, what's the story behind that? Channing Tatum was supposed to star in a standalone movie of Gambit. And the studio, after a while, there was a problem and they debunked it. And then Channing Tatum was going to get a second chance during the Wolverine Origins movie, but he was filming G.I. Joe at the time. So they wind up getting the other guy to play Gambit, and he didn't do the French accent or nothing like that. And that movie was kind of all the Wolverine movies, that was my least favorite.
Me too.
You know, I didn't like how Sabretooth looked.
Yeah.
That one, I didn't like a lot of that. And also in this movie, I would have liked, so they brought back some of the initial characters like Sabretooth, who was in the first one, Toad, who was in the first one. They got the actors to play him. I wish they would have continued that with other characters. I wish the Juggernaut would have been played by Vinnie Jones like it was in the third X-Men movie instead of getting whoever they got. You know, the same thing with I don't even know the character's name, the devil guy, the one that looked like that was dressed in black that kept appearing and disappearing.
Yeah.
He was in X-Men First Class.
Yeah, First Class.
But it was a different actor who played him. So I wish they could have maybe continued to get more of those same actors instead of getting other actors to play him. I did like that they brought back Pyro. I thought that was pretty cool. He was in a couple of the X-Men movies. I did like they brought Chris Evans in, and he didn't play Captain America.
Nah.
He didn't play
That
Captain
was
America.
so funny. I
Yeah,
was
that
not expecting that.
Yeah,
That
I
was
wasn't either.
funny.
The flame on.
Like he
That
kind of
was
had like the
funny.
blue under on the sleeve where it
Yes.
looked like the Captain America uniform, but it was
He even
yellow.
had the facial hair,
Yep.
so you're
He said,
thinking,
say it.
Yeah.
Say it. He said, Vent, flame, what the?
yep.
And he just took off.
like,
It was
"Flame
like,
on!"
what?
Yeah.
Great scene.
That was pretty awesome. I had known going into it that Jennifer Gardner playing Elektra was going to be in it, so I was not surprised. I had heard that Wesley Snipes was coming back to play Blade, so I wasn't surprised. But I did not know Channing Tatum was coming back. And, you know, people were probably like, why is Channing Tatum, you know, playing Gambit when they had just brought back Elektra, you know, Jennifer Gardner's Elektra, which I think is the only Elektra, and Blade, Wesley Snipes. So they were probably trying to figure out the connection with Gambit. And I'm explaining to my wife as we're watching this just so she can get it. I normally don't like to talk through movies, but I wanted her to get the connection of it, because there were times when after that movie Debunked, that Gambit movie, that standalone Gambit movie, Channing Tatum during like movie premieres and red carpet things, he would wear a Gambit shirt as a reminder of, you know, of him wanting to play that character. So I thought it was great. I thought he did such a good job.
Yeah.
He got the accent down
Yeah.
and everything like that. I thought that was so good. So I have a ton of positive to say about it. And I guess in closing for me, I really liked it. It was my favorite of the three movies. I haven't ranked it as far as MCU goes, but it's definitely not number one. It's definitely not number two, because I love X-Men Days of Future Past. I love that one so much. Again, bringing back the old characters with the new present day characters.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my top two, and I still think I like Avengers Infinity War top three. I think those are my top three. So I got Spider-Man No Way Home, X-Men Days of Future Past, and Avengers Infinity War, because that was like action. And it really set up for the next movie. Those are my top three. Could this movie crack the top five? Maybe. I didn't think of 4 and 5, but it's not top three. Definitely top 7, probably closer to 5. Easily in the top 10. I loved it. I thought it was great. They built it up for a long time, and I thought the payoff worked. So how about you, Matt? Do you think all in all, 2 thumbs up, the payoff worked out?
Honestly, I'm gonna say, yeah, two thumbs up. It was, if anything, it was highly entertaining from start to finish. You know, it didn't feel as long as it was, as long as the runtime was.
Yeah.
I was halfway through my popcorn because I was just staring at the screen the whole time, and didn't really even get to my beverage. And like by the time I got to that, the movie was kind of rolling the credits and we were hanging around, watching the after footage stuff. And I was like, wow, that was that, then of course I went with a bunch of buddies and we talked about it forever outside of the movie theater. And, just that's what a movie is supposed to do. You're supposed to forget about life. You're supposed to be in that world, the cinematic universe that they've created. And then you're supposed to go outside and just talk about it. And just, there has not been a lot of movies that have came out in the last few years where I've left the theater and felt like talking about it.
Yeah, it's a fact.
How about you, Larry?
I enjoyed it.
Overall, your bottom line.
Overall, man, like I told my lady when we left, man, it was worth the movie, man. Like I stayed up the whole movie. Normally I'll go to sleep if the movie it got to be good for me to stay up. So the fact that I stayed up from the beginning to the end, it goes to show it was 2 thumbs up in my book. It didn't disappoint in the only thing, like the downside, I would say probably just too much of the, just the Ryan Reynolds, the quick hitters. But for the most part, man, hey man, when it got kicking, it got to kicking. I thought it was a dope storyline. I was able to follow the storyline. It wasn't something that was crazy. It wasn't, a boss watching all the, the low keys and everything. It all played into one big pot. And I thought it was dope. It was dope, man. Like I said, I'll go back and see it again. So it's one of those things where I would actually pay my money to go see it again, just so I can catch the scenes that I missed. You watch it the first time.
Yes.
If I watch it the second time, I catch everything that you're saying. I'm gonna catch it the second time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The first time, I'm just like, man, I ain't expect that. Oh. Second time is different because I get to actually see the things I missed. But yeah, it was a great movie, man. I recommend for all the people who haven't seen it to go see it. If you want to go to the movies, pay your money, go see something like that.
Absolutely.
100%. If you're, these days with everything being so expensive, and, movie tickets are no exception, especially if you go to the concession stand. I mean, between a movie ticket and a concession stand, you could spend $30 on one person.
Yes.
You can do that. So you got to really pick your spots. I mean, we're all employed. We all make decent money, but we're not going to the movies every week. We're not going every month. So we're looking forward to our particular movies, spring, summer, maybe fall. So, I'm probably a 2 to 3 movie guy per year, at most 3, usually more like 1. I've already gone twice this year. I saw the Godzilla Kong movie, Frozen Empire, and I saw. So this is 2 now. I probably got 1 more in me this calendar year. Which one is it going to be? I don't know. So that's me.
Toss up.
2 thumbs up. I'm definitely wouldn't mind seeing it again if my stepson or my stepdaughter want to watch it. I would go do it and try and pick out the parts like that you missed that you didn't realize, like The Greatest Showman, half a second being played and things like that. And one quick thing before we move on, a couple of those Deadpools, when there was that big Deadpool fight, that lady Deadpool was Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Was it?
Yes.
That was
Blake
her, Lively.
Blake Lively. That was his wife, and the cowboy Deadpool, that was Matthew McConaughey.
Was it really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm sure you go back and see it, listen to the all right kind of voice, and you'll pick up on it. There are
a lot of hitters in this movie, man.
Oh yeah, Ryan Reynolds had a big piece in this movie. That first movie, he hardly made any money in the first. He wanted to play that character so bad to because he hated how it was portrayed in that X-Men movie.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Origins, which we all hated.
Yeah.
He was willing, because they knew that if the movie was a success, that there'd be a sequel. He was willing to practically do it for nothing. Now, he made up for it because in the second one, he made like $65 million in totality for the second one. And then this one, since he's got his fingerprints all over it, if this movie makes $1 billion, if it's like the highest grossing movie of the year, I mean, he is gonna make out like a bandit. They're gonna have to catch what is it, Inside Out 2? That's the movie so far that's the highest grossing of the year.
Is it really?
Inside Out 2.
What?
Yeah, kids like their movies, man. Parents can just bring those kids.
My lady wanted to take the kids to see it. We haven't seen it yet, but we might. Who knows?
Well, my stepdaughter and my son have seen it. My wife took them to see it when it came out. So, and when it comes out on Disney Plus, we'll be watching it again. But that's not how it makes its money. It makes its money in the theaters. That's why you always see in theaters only now, ever since the pandemic. All right, moving on. So, now let's have some real fun. Like I told you guys, in honor of Deadpool Wolverine, we're going to do our top 10 vigilante superheroes. Now, I'm anticipating that we're going to have a lot of the same guys. What's a vigilante superhero? It's basically a superhero that the cops don't want to be a superhero. that if they come to a scene where the bad guys are either captured or dead, they're hoping that the person who did it is still there so they can arrest them. So right. It's not a Superman. It's not a Wonder Woman. It's not those kind of, for the most part, mainstream. It's the kind the cops want the superhero to stay away from. Let us do our job. They're misunderstood, and they think that they're making more of a mess instead of helping. Or, maybe they're just flat out killing bad guys, and that's a no-no.
Right. Murder is still murder.
Murder is still murder.
Murder is still murder.
So I got my top 10. Okay. I got them in order from 10 to 1, 1 being the best, 10 the worst out of the 10. Matt, since you are our guest, we always, when we do a top 10 list, we always make the guest go first. So who is your 10th favorite vigilante superhero and why? It could be because of the comic book. It could be because of movies, combination of both, or you only like them in this version and you don't care for him in that other version.
Okay, interesting. Well, this is going to be pretty straightforward because I'm not sure if there's many other iterations. My 10th is V for Vendetta. I absolutely loved the film adaptation. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. Uh, I had to just throw it in there as far as vigilantes go. I mean, the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I mean, how do you not include that as far as vigilantes? So just the character of V, the way he conducts himself, his mannerisms, and just the awesome way he's always got 90 knives is just, it's that would be my at least making the top 10 list because I love the character so much. Number 10.
Did you know of the character before seeing the movie? Did you know he was a comic book character prior to
I
that? 'Cause
actually did not.
I'll be honest, I
I
didn't.
didn't either.
I had no clue. I mean, I did look into it after I saw the movie because, I mean, the movie was amazing. I watched
Yeah,
it
it
dozens
was.
of times, but
Yeah.
I had no clue. I was just basing it solely off of the movie.
That's a
Natalie
great-
Portman shaving her head in the movie.
Yeah.
Real deal. That's committing to the part. There aren't too many ladies that are going to do that. I know Anne Hathaway did it in Les Mis as well while it was being filmed in a scene, her head getting shaved. So I give them a lot of credit because you never know. You could have a Demi Moore kind of incident where she shaved her head for G.I. Jane and it didn't grow back right, and it hurt her career for a couple of years because her hair didn't grow back evenly. You can't assume when you shave your head it's going to come back looking as good, if not better. And how much
or
time
if at all,
Yeah, or at all. So, all right, Larry, you're up next. What's your number 10, homie?
I actually had Ghost Rider, man. And Ghost Rider, man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was, man. Man, Johnny. Yeah, you see him. Yeah, Johnny Blaze, man.
Yeah.
Motorcycle. That guy, chain. Oh man, it's the Ghost Rider, man. Man, that was. I mean, I can't explain it. It's the Ghost Rider, man.
He's so awesome.
He is, man.
He's awesome. The look, motorcycle, the flame, how he talks. Now, let me ask you this: did you like Ghost Rider from comics, cartoon, movie? 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3.
It was the comics. The movies, I ain't think they did them justice. I don't think they did them justice in the movie, bro. The comics, by far. Cartoon was cool. Comics by far. Movie, they've been third on my list because they just didn't give him the justice that I thought that character deserved. You know what I mean? I thought the first one was rushed, and then the second one was just long and drawn out. It was drawn out.
Yeah, everything I touch turns into machine Ghost Rider excavators.
Yeah, it's
so weird. Spirit of Vengeance was so odd.
It was terrible. No,
it was terrible.
It was terrible.
Terrible.
The first one was okay.
Yeah.
I don't love the casting of Nicolas Cage. I think he plays the same character in almost every movie. He's always got that crazy thing that he's got to do. A couple scenes a movie. I like how when like they'll bring an unknown to play the lead character, and then maybe you get a known character to play like the villain, the antagonist, like a Punisher, the Tom Jane one. Tom Jane, although he was in a lot of stuff, was not a household name, where John Travolta is a household name.
Yeah.
So it works. Batman with Michael Keaton. A lot of movies, but outside of Beetlejuice, you had to really think what you remembered him in. Gun Ho, Mr. Mom, things like that. But you have Jack Nicholson play the bad guy. It works.
It worked.
You bring Nicolas Cage, who you've seen played 50 different roles, and play this role exactly the same with the fake hair, which
Yeah.
drives me crazy. Yeah, I didn't care for the first one. The second one,
Mhm.
I don't even talk about. It's like
Yeah,
the third Godfather movie. We don't talk about that.
Mhm.
We don't talk about that.
Nah.
All right, my number 10. My number 10 is Venom. Eddie Brock.
Oh, yeah.
Venom. There's a thing that's been happening with characters that are considered antagonists, bad guys. Okay, the heel. They're liked so much that they are creating storylines now where some of them are turning good, right? And Venom is one of them. Venom was always a bad guy to Spider-Man until they liked him so much that they made him, the Flash was a Venom, or something like that. So it's really kind of more for the movie because I didn't really see any cartoons where Venom was a good guy, and in the comics, I think I saw one, and I don't think I read it, but I think on the cover, it led you to believe that he's going to be the protagonist in this comic book. But in the movies, he's the protagonist in both of them. So that's why I got him at number 10, because he's not the same character. He's usually a bad guy. Now he's turning into a good guy. They're going to incorporate eventually that character into the Spider-Man movies. I don't know if the new one will, because there's a third one coming out. So I have Venom as my number 10. All right, Matt, we're with you. You're number 9, sir.
Number 9 is Green Arrow. So that's mainly because he's like a light version of Batman. He's the wealthy entrepreneur, businessman, vigilante with all the tech and the know-how. Went away for years training and came back, and that to me, like that is the vigilante, where he kind of came back to more clean up the city, come back to Star City more than Batman coming back to more try to find the crime syndicate or the guy that was, trace down the people who killed his parents, and then it leading to this big underground Gotham where all these other crime bosses are, Cobblepot and others. And, so basically that's kind of coming in at number 9. I've always liked the Green Arrow as far as the comics, even just watching Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, kind of coming off, it was always cool to see Green Arrow was just always there with like a big net or a fist on the end of an arrow or something. It was just, that was cool. I always like to see that.
All right, 2 questions with Green Arrow. Number 1, do you prefer, now we know that the Marvel comp is Hawkeye, different story,
Right.
ability wise is Hawkeye. Do you prefer Green Arrow over Hawkeye?
Come to think of it, I don't necessarily, just because Hawkeye is known to be like precise with anything, whereas Green Arrow is bow and arrow primarily, and maybe fluent in hand-to-hand combat. But Hawkeye can, he's like Bullseye. Daredevil's like a bad guy where he can pretty much pick up anything and kill you with it. So I mean, that's pretty cool. I think I just like more the backstory and the prowess of Green Arrow, and this is my city versus the Hawkeye where he's like, if Shield wants me to do something, I'll go kill somebody.
The other thing with Green Arrow, did you like the WB's version of the series, and how sometimes it crossed over with the Flash? Did you watch the series on the WB?
Yeah, I did. I liked the first season. Outside of that, didn't much care for it. I felt like it was Smallville like, but not as well written, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I like the season one. I like the coming back to the city. I like the hood. I like the grease paint. I like the just straight up hitting people in the shoulder and like taking them out and just, actually no, I think he was straight up killing people in the first season. So that was kind of cool, but I feel like after that it kind of got more, relationship with Felicity. It got me training somebody else. I'm, my sister and my sister's boyfriend and Red Arrow. Red Arrow was both of them. They both took the mantle of Red Arrow, his sister and the Speedy or whoever. So it was like it just got convoluted and they focused more, I feel like, on introducing new characters every couple episodes than they did about just kind of focusing on that season one grit. So, I mean, I did like season one. I didn't really finish like the later seasons, but I liked it more Justice League growing up with the cartoons.
Yeah, the reason I won't go through my list, but the reason I did not have Green Arrow on my make my top 10 was the comp again to him was Hawkeye, and I like Hawkeye better. And one of the reasons I like Hawkeye better is I like the fact that his character changed to Ronin, and I
Yeah.
love
Yes,
Ronin. They only
Ronin.
show him for a little bit in Endgame.
In the
comics. In the comics,
he's
Ronin
for
is
a little while.
Ronin's the stuff.
Yes.
I honestly, I
Ronin
didn't think about that when I was considering my list, but that is awesome.
That's why he didn't make my cut, but I do like him, and I got a poster of him over here. So you ever come by my place, you'll see him. I got a poster of a lot, as you can see. All right, Larry, you're up, brother. We're at number 9. Who's your number
9, man? I got Daredevil, man. I got there, and I like the series, not the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Oh my God, that was
terrible.
That was rough.
Terrible. Okay, they dropped the ball.
But it did have Elektra in it.
It did. I mean, it was. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it did. It had Elektra, but the series did too, though. And I actually like the Chinese girl that played Elektra in the series because I just love the way that built up.
Right.
With big the Kingpin and how that built up and just how he became Daredevil. Like you went through the metamorphosis of him with the how he got the mask, how he got the suit, and just because that series he was fighting with just the cut off hat over his face, and that was it. And it was gritty, it was raw, and it made me have a better appreciation for Daredevil's skill set when I watched the series than I did the movie. So that's why I had to put it on that list because he was a problem, man. He was a problem. He was vicious and he was relentless. I mean, he got beat up. I mean, that's why I loved it because he was like human. You know what I mean? He's human. So you seen him getting scarred and all that, but he was vicious. Oh man! Then they had my man from Kung Fu, his teacher, come through. Carradine. That was his teacher. He was Stick was awesome.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was. Then they introduced the Punisher. The new Punisher was in that. It was just a lot of spinoffs in that series that made it just dope for me. So Daredevil, number 9 for me.
Daredevil's a good one. I definitely enjoyed the series, both seasons. The cameos that they use. They had him in Spider-Man No Way Home. People forget he was in the beginning. They had his character in the beginning when everybody found out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and somebody threw a brick through his window and he caught it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did. Yep, he sure did.
So he had a cameo in that. He was in a couple episodes of the She-Hulk series, which was not a good series. But they were able to bring him back, and they're bringing back Daredevil again. They're bringing back a new season. So.
Yeah, hopefully a good one.
Yeah, hopefully it's a good one because the ones that were on originally on Netflix were very good. So that's a good one there, Larry. All right, my number 9 is Rorschach from The Watchmen.
Oh, Rorschach, oh man. Yeah.
Walter Joseph Kovacs Rorschach. He had the mask that constantly
Yep.
changed shapes, and he was a detective that was extremely violent.
Yeah.
Excellent hand-to-hand combat. I love the actor who played him in the movie. By the way, he was in
Freddy Krueger.
the original Bad News Bears. Our
Was
last
he?
show, we talked about the Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the good one that can hit that they
Oh
recruited.
yeah.
Last. That was him.
Yeah, he was.
was him.
And he was on Freddy Krueger.
And he was Freddy, which
The Wes Craven was just trash. Yeah,
we don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
That was trash.
So yeah, I thought it's a great. He was my favorite character in the Watchmen. I admit that I did not see any of the comic books, but when I watched the movie, I found out it was a comic book back in the 80s, which was pretty cool that they set the movie in the 80s, like 1986 or whatever. And I thought it was awesome. And although I thought the movie was okay, I watch it because of that character. It's kind of like Wolverine and X-Men. I think X-Men's pretty good, but Wolverine is what makes you watch it. So that is my number 9. All right, we're at number 8. Matt, your number 8 is?
Number 8 is Kick-Ass. Mainly, I know the movies were all right if you like violence, which who doesn't? But the Mark Miller comics were just the wimpy little Kick-Ass with the batons, where he was just the hopeless nerd. That was always me growing up. Just like everyone was bigger, everyone was tougher, but he had his sticks and he had his boots and determination. And I love the comics. I love the team up. The Hit Girl, the Colonel Stars and Stripes, and just the whole universe that Mark created in the comics is great. And then the films were pretty good. I liked the first one. The second one was pretty good. I liked the Jim Carrey part. I liked again Nicolas Cage. I feel like Big Daddy could have been recast, but that's just the problem with Nicolas Cage. Not that he's a bad actor, but number 8, Kick-Ass, is definitely one of my top favorites.
Kick-Ass is funny for me because to me they're like silly movies that are extremely violent. So if you took out, I know it's saying a lot, but if you took out the violence, to me it's a PG movie. You add the violence, it is RRR because it is very violent.
People so violent.
It's funny, you like Mark Miller. I like Frank Miller. Frank Miller's like Batman comic book. Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So good. So good. Yeah, and Sin City he did as well, Frank.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
One of my favorite
movies
of all time.
I actually saw A Dame to Kill For before I saw the first Sin City, so it was kind of cool. I watched them in reverse, but so good. Love those movies.
Yeah, and I like how they were done like comic book. That was pretty cool. Larry, you're number 8.
Oh man, we talk about this guy in Wolverine and Deadpool, and it'd be Blade, my main man Blade. Wesley Snipes Blade, the first one was the best one. The second one, no, I'm sorry, the second one. I like the second one. The second one was the better one. Because I like the who was the vampire dude, because he was the hybrid. He was a problem.
Oh yeah.
What was his name?
Steven Dwarf. Yeah. That's his name.
That was the first one. Steven Dwarf was the first one. Frost. He was Frost. Egan Frost. The second one, he was the vampire's son.
Yeah.
Until the hybrid. They was just different type of vampire. They was different. Good. Yeah, that was good. That was real good.
That's the one that got directed by Benicio del Toro.
Was it?
Was the second one.
Oh man, he did a great job. That was my best one ever, man. That was the best one ever. And even when they introduced Blade, like we saw about before, that was the first one that actually got right. Because the first Blade was good when it came in, it was great. Just introduced the character. And Wesley Snipes, man, it was made for him. The role was made for him. Yeah. Once again, we all agree the third one was not it at all.
Yeah, we don't.
At all. You could tell he was not into it.
Mhm.
Storyline was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just bad. Bad. It was bad. Unfortunately, that Triple H, I know you don't do too many movies, but it was just bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blade for me, kick ass, vampire hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Blade a lot. Obviously, they're trying to bring it back with what's his name? Mashallah? Is that his name? Or Herschela? I can't remember. I can't remember his name. But anyway, they have recast a new Blade, which is one of the reasons why he said in the movie, "I'm Blade. I'm the only one that's ever going to be Blade."
Yeah. Yep.
That's why he said that, because they have somebody else to play when they finally bring that back. I love Blade. I love Blade. That second movie I thought was fantastic, and like I said earlier, the first Blade movie was the first successful X-Men movie in the theaters. The second one, I mean, not X-Men, Marvel. It was the first Marvel movie that was successful in the theaters, and the second one was the original X-Men, which came out 2 years later. Those were the first two. Okay, so my number 8 is Red Hood. Red Hood is Jason Todd, formerly Robin, one of the Robins.
Yeah, Red Hood. Yeah.
Batman's sidekick. And as the story goes, he was killed by the Joker, and Ra's al Ghul puts him in the pit to bring him back. He doesn't come back as the same Jason Todd as we remember. There's an evil in him. There's a vengefulness in him. Now, he only kills bad guys, but he kills. And when you were with Batman, one of Batman's things is no guns, no killing. That's his rules. And he went against that. And that's why he didn't go by Robin anymore. He went by Red Hood. I thought he was a cool looking character. Excellent fighting skills like Robin had, but the ability with the guns. He's one of the better shooting vigilantes out there. So I have Jason Todd as Red Hood, my number 8. What do you guys think of Red Hood?
That was a good one.
Yeah,
that was a great one.
Love Jason Todd. Love all the Robins. All the Robins are great.
I like them. Yeah,
and they all, I think all of them went on to take on different mantles, which is cool, except for Damian, Stephanie Brown, and Carrie Kelly. I don't know if they ever were not Robins, but I mean, very, very, very good. Love Red Hood. Love the movie Under the Red Hood.
Oh yeah,
man, just
there's like 2 versions of that animated movie. It's Under the Red Hood, and then there's another one called A Family Affair, which is just like that movie, except you have Bruce Wayne in a diner telling the story to Clark Kent. Yeah, it's still animated. It's the same animation. It's like they took that movie and put it in this movie, and it's all the same, except it's being narrated by Bruce Wayne telling it to Clark Kent in the diner.
Interesting.
Yes. So look for it. It's called A Family Affair.
Yeah.
And it shows Batman on the cover carrying Robin and his lifeless body. That's what it looks like. Where Under the Red Hood, it shows, the character, the Red Hood. He's on the cover and Batman's in front of him. Okay, anyway. Number 7, you're up, Matt. Who you got for number 7? Lucky number 7 is
Rorschach. One that we finally have in common. I felt like this was going to be on somebody's list just because Watchmen is fantastic. So lots of good to choose from in there, from Jeffrey Dean Morgan's, the comedian, obviously Dr. Manhattan, and, the famous line of, I'll whisper no, just that famous, just to this day goosebumps when I watch that movie and I see that. And but just to see Rorschach is just the cool, like, and you know, the thing that psychiatrists hold up, that's the blobs, that's a Rorschach, and it's cool to see the face changing, and like he's like a kind of like a Batman-esque, but without the armor. He just straight up fisticuffs and just will, you know, get to the bottom of things and find out what's going on, but you know, get a little bloody to do it.
Oh,
And just Rorschach's just the man, that voice, just that just intense. I love it.
the scene in the prison when they're trying
Oh,
to get
yeah.
at him,
Yes.
and then when that scene is over, he yells out, he's like, "You got it all wrong. You think I'm stuck in here with you? You're stuck in here with
Hey,
me."
yes. Oh my
That
god.
was
So good.
so good.
Good.
All right, that's our first one in common. Larry, who's your lucky number 7?
Man, mine just kind of sticking to the easy ones, I guess, man. I ain't my fault, man. I would have delved into my picky picks. I kind of like kept the surface, man.
Okay,
Uh,
your list.
the Punisher, man. I got the Punisher, man. Frank Castle, man.
Yes,
Frank
absolutely.
Castle. To talk about bringing punishment, and I love the new series. I don't think the first one was cool, but the new series, oh, different level. He's like the perfect Punisher, man. He's like
Yes.
the perfect Punisher. Like he shows you why he's the Punisher. No holds bars. I just love the way they cast a character. When I say he wreaks havoc, you know. And I love the first and I love the second one because they had my man from the Prince of Narnia, just the Caspian, Prince Caspian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
he played a good role. He played a real good role. He was a great good Billy. He was a great good villain.
In the comics, he's so much more mangled though after
Yeah.
the battle with the Punisher.
Yeah,
Even in
I
the
wish
comics with Deadpool, he's way more gross and
Yeah.
Well,
looking in the comics. That
Fun fact is
Right.
Ben Barnes, the guy who was Prince Caspian, he had had a pretty boy clause or something, whereas like he can't look too disfigured because he gotta keep face or something. So I was like, why wouldn't you just recast a guy that would do like, you know, an hour of prosthetics all over the face or something and look gross, you know?
do it.
Yeah.
I do it.
Right.
Whatever. Get me in a comic
I
book
mean,
series.
he took his face against that broken mirror and just wiped it like
He did.
windshield wipers, and his face, he had like 3 scars. I was like, bro, come on.
Look at how much worse the second Punisher movie was. Same character, in different origins. But look at how his face looked in that second movie than he did in the series. You're right. I really like the series. I liked him in Daredevil. I liked having his own series. But you're right. They should have made that guy look more menacing. More mangled.
Yeah, he should be more mangled. I mean, put his face to glass, man. Like you say, he was a windshield wiper. Like, you serious? He only had a couple cuts. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like that. That's the only thing that kind of threw it off when he took the mask. Like we had to took the mask off. It was like, man, that's nothing.
Yeah, ain't that bad, really. I don't know why you're covering your face.
For a guy facing went through a whole glass.
Right.
I love Punisher. That's a great one. My number 7. I'm gonna second what Larry said. Blade. Blade is my number 7. Frank Blade. His real name, character-wise, is Eric Cross Brooks, but he goes by Frank Blade, which is Blade. And there was also a series. Do you remember, like in 2005, 2006, for one season, there was a series on Spike TV, and I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was all right, but it didn't get re-upped for a second season. But you could probably look it up. It's just one season long, and I thought it was pretty good. 2 out of 3 movies I loved. I loved the character before they actually made any movies for him, and I liked the TV show. I love that they brought him back in this movie, and hopefully he makes an appearance again, because Wesley can still do it. You know,
Yeah.
Wesley is a martial artist, so he keeps himself in shape. He looks a little thin now,
Yeah, he does.
but
He
but
did,
um
yeah.
but he's older, and they made him look older with a lot of the gray that they put in his hair and his facial hair. But I think he could still pull it off if you need him to you know, don the black and have the tattoo and the sword and all that. It looks to me like he could do it again. So I am a big fan of Blade in all aspects outside of that third movie, which was Caca.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. We're one away from the top 5. Number 6, Matt. Who you got?
Number 6, Nightwing.
Good one.
Dick Grayson, the first Robin. I absolutely love the first Robin. The one, the flying Graysons, the tragedy, similar to that of Batman, growing up under the Caped Crusader, and then eventually, in some stories, going to lead on the Teen Titans and take on their own battles there, and even take on the Justice League at some points, which is impressive. Just yeah, coming in at 6 is Nightwing. And I would say I like the comics Nightwing. I like the New 52 version. I feel like it's a darker Nightwing, but not so much brooding, just kind of a more direct to the point Nightwing, which I feel like would have been more the Nightwing that a Batman would have trained. But so I'd say, yeah, more New 52 Nightwing.
That's a good one.
Awesome.
I like Nightwing. I like
Nightwing too.
Yeah.
He's a Robin. He's the original Robin.
The OG.
So,
yeah.
And he's the first one to break off and become his own character, his own.
Mm-hmm.
Need no guns or nothing like that. And when need be, he could put on the Batman costume, and you think it's Batman, the way he fights and his size and everything like that. He's a little thin than Bruce Wayne, but other than that, they're very similar. So that's a good one. Larry,
wasn't he on Batman Beyond too? The Batman Beyond series, when Bruce Wayne was old and he had trained the young, like they was in the future.
Yeah, Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, that was he was in there, right? Was he in that series too?
Was Nightwing in that series? I don't think so.
Oh,
but he did make appearances in other movies, a lot. I mean, in the one. In Injustice, by accident, I think Robin kills him, right? In the Injustice movie, where Superman and Woman try and force their own justice because Lois Lane died. Joker killed Lois Lane. So yeah, I think by accident Robin killed Nightwing. I don't remember Nightwing in any of the Justice League and Batman Beyond series, but he made appearances in a lot in like a lot of other animated movies and stuff like that, and obviously in the comic books he's all over the place.
My 6, man, you already mentioned him, man. Venom. Yeah, Venom's my 6, man. I always like Venom. I liked him when he was obviously when he was a villain. But then as they recast them, I actually like the series. The Carnage one, I like the first one better than the second one. Carnage was cool, but I just thought it was a lot going on. You know what I mean? The second one was like, it was too much going on. The first one was cool.
Yeah.
And hopefully the third one, as we've seen the previews, they're going to bring the third one and let all the symbionts coming down. So we'll see how that play out. Hopefully it's better than the second one.
Right. I agree. I like the first one a lot better than the second one. And the second one was directed by, oh my gosh, who's the guy, Matt, you're going to know. Who's the guy who played in the Lord of the Rings, the one with the ring? They always said precious. Who's that guy? Not Sudeikis. What's his name?
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis. That's
he directed it?
He directed the second Venom movie. He was the director. He commonly plays Caesar in the
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes movies. He's the one Caesar, and he played King Kong in the King Kong movie that had Andrew Brody in it, and Jack Black. He was the one that played Kong. He's also in the movie as another character where you actually see his face, but he dies when he's shooting like those big bugs. That was a terrible movie. That was terrible. But anyway,
it was beauty that killed the beast.
Yeah. Whatever. We knew that since the 30s. So, I remember that line in the original King Kong at the end. So anyway, my number 6 is right here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
My number 6.
Yes.
My guys. Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, and Michelangelo. Love those guys. I loved the first movie when it came out. When it came out in 1990, I was like, man, this movie is good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I obviously watched a cartoon and I had the video game for Nintendo. So I was a big Ninja Turtles guy. I like that they brought back the series on Paramount Plus. I watch it with my son. It's good to get, I love to see him getting into what I was into. And they keep bringing in more movies, more series. Obviously, the toys still sell. I'm a big Ninja Turtles guy. I'm a Donatello guy myself.
Heck yeah.
And obviously my son likes Leonardo because they call him Leo. And my son,
who doesn't love two swords, man?
Yeah. He's got the 2 swords. He's like Spartacus, no shield, just 2 swords. There you go. So that's my number 6. All right. Top 5 now, guys. Top 5. We come heavy or just don't come at all. Number 5. Matt?
Oh, number 5 is Moon Knight.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, Mark Spector. Love Moon Knight. Love the comics. Moon Knight was in almost no media growing up. There was not somebody that was very heard of if you didn't read comics or if you didn't play Ultimate Alliance on the PlayStation 2, I think. They had a version of Moon Knight on there, and that was enough for me to just delve straight into the Moon Knight train and just go right in there. Just love it. The crazy personalities, the alter egos, the cool costumes, the abilities, and just super cool. Moon Knight's awesome.
Which costume do you like better? The one with the hood or the one where he's in the suit?
I love the hood, man. You can't be Moon Knight without the hood.
I don't know, man. I love the suit.
I know, my buddy. He loves the suit too, but
Did you like the
Moon Knight with the hood.
And Matt, did you like the series they made out of it? The new series they made out of it?
I say probably like 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Just because it was good. Love the acting. Felt a little Netflixy. I don't know. It was more just the environment. It didn't quite hit for me. But it was good. I mean, I liked it. I'm excited for season 2 or wherever they put Oscar Isaac into the MCU from here on out. I'm excited for that for sure.
For sure.
I didn't love the series. The last 3 episodes I thought were meh, but I do like the character, and I would give the series a second chance. You get Oscar Isaac, who I thought did a great job. That is not easy, going from personality to personality to personality to personality in the same scene. That is difficult. Having to change your accent and stuff like that. That he did a very, very good job. Him alone made it worth watching. So I definitely like the Moon Knight pick as your 5. Larry, your 5. Let's go.
We just watched this guy, man. We just had a whole conversation about this guy, man. Deadpool, man.
Woo!
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Number 5, man. I don't even think I really can explain anything. We just had a whole almost an hour or at least 40 minutes talk about Deadpool.
Oh man.
Did you
he
like
was about
Deadpool?
To make my list too.
Did you like Deadpool before they made him this protagonist good guy? Because he used to be bad guy.
I liked them. I liked them what they did with him. I like the character spin. I like the way I just thought the way they brought him in, it was great. You know what I mean? like I said before, when they did, when he's in the Wolverine, the origins part, I didn't like what they did. He only had a small part though. It was small, But when they recast him and they actually made him funny, and then just, the stuff he could do, and it's a great series. It's a great series. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely a Deadpool guy. I like him when he's a villain though. I definitely like him when he's a villain. You know what I mean? But I like him more as a recast. So,
right.
Definitely.
I've always lent more Deadpool as like anti-hero, but always just straight up mercenary. Pay me to kill somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's Deadpool all the way. I love it. Love Deadpool.
Did you see the movie Hulk versus? And half the movie is Hulk versus Thor, and the other half is Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yeah.
And in the second half, when he fights Wolverine, Deadpool has got a pretty good part in it. And who's is it Atomic Red? Is that his name? The one that shoots out the he wears red and he shoots out those cables out of his wrists.
Mm-hmm.
Name Atomic Red.
Oh man,
it's something red. It's something red. Well, anyway, Deadpool is in that movie, but he's a bad.
I do remember that film. Yeah,
he's a bad guy, and he fights Wolverine, and he is a gun for hire. That's one of the few where you get to actually see him. He's still like the same character, still yappy with the jokes, bothering Wolverine. Wolverine wanting him to shut up, bub. But but he's a bad guy in that one. So what was it? That was 5?
5.
My 5, shocker, Deadpool.
Oh,
wow.
5. Okay. Really nothing to add to it. That is my 5. That's my man right there.
My man.
Bang. Go eat your chimichanga. All right. Number 4. Rushmore. 4. Math. Got
4. We've again discussed it, but Daredevil. Daredevil's my number 4. And comics, yes, loved the comics. I remember running around with my buddies at like 8, 9 in the backyard, putting cargo shorts over my pants so I could hold the batons and, doing the flips. And I was Daredevil, man. That was before, Ben Affleck movie, so it was good. But then when Charlie Cox came in and did that, I mean, that first season, that hallway scene, it's like 8 minutes long with no cuts.
Yeah.
Amazing. Some of the best cinema I've ever seen, that show right there. Fantastic. Love Daredevil. We've talked about it, but that hooked me. He's an amazing actor. Really brought new life to the character for me. The black suit, the red suit, doesn't matter. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love the 3rd season with the Muay Thai raps, the ropes, and just beating the crap out of people. Like, great.
Yeah. Great series, man. Great series, man.
Did you ever watch the TV movie? It's called, there was a series of them. I think there was 3 of them. And it was based off of the actors who played the Incredible Hulk and Dr. Banner from the TV show. So it was Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. And the second one was called The Trial of the Incredible Hulk. Did you ever see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a TV movie.
So.
It came out in either 89 or 90. Bill Bixby starred and directed it. And Bill Bixby played Dr. David Banner, where in the comic books and in the movies it's Bruce Banner, but on the TV show it was David Banner. And Lou Ferrigno, Mr. Universe, the guy who rivaled Arnold Schwarzenegger in Pumping Iron, he played the Incredible Hulk. That was him in the TV series, late 70s, early 80s. And then he did 3 movies. And the second movie was The Trial of the Incredible Hulk. And the lawyer for David Banner was Matt Murdock. and he also dresses up at night as Daredevil, but he doesn't wear the red. He doesn't have the DD. He's in black. He kind of looks like him in the first season of Daredevil, where he's in black, got something wrapped around his eyes, and he's all in black. He's a thin guy, and that was the first time I had seen Daredevil. Not so much in comics, but I seen him in the cartoon with Spider-Man a couple times. But it was the first time I saw him as live action, and it was in that TV movie. You could probably catch it on YouTube. It's called The Trial of the Incredible Hulk, and Daredevil's in it. And I think most people did not know what character he was playing, but I did. I'm proud to say.
Definitely worth looking into, especially if he's in the all black. You might have missed it if you didn't know that was a Daredevil suit.
Yes, that's what he was in, all black. What number was that?
4.
That was your 4, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, Larry, your 4, your Mount Rushmore.
Oh, man.
It starts with.
I got the man himself, Incredible Hulk. You just mentioned, you just kind of segue my 4.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
So the Incredible Hulk, man, Mr. Bruce, Bruce Banner on steroids, man. Gamma rays going crazy. Definitely the comic to I'd say the weakest one to me. Trying to think what was the weakest one. The Ed Norton one was cool. It was all right. The Ed Norton one was cool. I like the one before that.
What, Eric Bana?
Yeah, Eric Bana. Yeah, that was a lot going on, right? It wasn't.
I liked him with the tanks and throwing the tanks around in the desert.
That scene, I did. I just thought like to get to it was a lot going on to get to them parts. You feel me?
Yeah.
But at parts, it was like parts was good. You know what I mean?
It took almost an hour before they
did
as the Hulk.
It did. And so that was the downside to that one. Ed Norton was like more of a slow burner. It was more dramatic. More serious.
Better looking Hulk than the MCU.
Better looking Hulk, a little more realistic Hulk.
And the storyline is more like the TV show.
Yeah, it was more like TV show. So I like that. And I think the new Avenger Hulk is just for me the best one. Him and Ryan Hawk, when him and Thor, and him and Thor going at it, and just then when they actually made Hawk and Banner together, and they made the Smart Hulk.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, so
I like Hulk to be Rage.
Hulk, yeah, raging.
That Hulk behind you, Gil.
Yeah,
we need that Hulk.
Yeah, to smash,
coming to kill you.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash. Yeah, Thanos put the thing on him, man. He broke Hulk's spirit, man.
Yeah.
Thanos put it on him, man. It was quick too. It was quick. Incredible Hulk, man, for sure. Raging.
Yeah, great pick.
That's a great pick, and I gotta say I missed it. If I had to redo this again, he would probably make my top 10. Because the Hulk is my second favorite monster.
Who's your first?
Godzilla.
Okay.
Oh,
great one.
Godzilla's my first. The Incredible Hulk is my second. And the Edward Norton movie, which some people like to poop on for whatever reason, I thought it was actually pretty good. But what was really good was it was the first movie that in the closing credits had a little like the Easter egg.
Yeah,
to talk about the Avengers for the first time. That's when Robert Downey Jr.
is at the bar.
The bar.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
You're right too.
Yeah.
The general's at the bar.
General is at the bar, yeah.
Yep.
Which now they had to recast, I guess, as Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's the new general?
He is. He is
because of the new Captain America movie.
Or the
general in the comic books and the cartoon eventually becomes Red Hulk. And Red Hulk is in the new Captain America movie that's coming out.
Is he?
Yes. But Harrison Ford is playing him.
Yeah, you gotta watch the trailer for the new Captain America.
I walked out.
I
seen it. Like I seen when the new Captain America and the Hulk supposed to have been combined, right? But I didn't. That was in the trailer.
Well, it's like 2 seconds, man.
2 seconds at the end, you see Captain America's sword. hit the ground,
Yeah.
and Red Hulk is right there. It's literally a second and a half.
Yeah, he catches it and throws it, and you
Just
kind of
enough-
almost just see his leg a little bit.
Yeah, that's a Red Hulk. You know, just enough for that. I thought it.
Oh my goodness.
It was quick like that. Like you almost miss it. Like
Yeah.
you got to hit rewind to be like, I did see a Red Hulk. Yeah. So
yeah.
I missed that one. So if I had to do my list over again, it would make my top 10. So that's a great get for you. My number 4. You might not initially think of this guy as a vigilante, but he absolutely was. Even the guy that he was working for was trying to frame him to being a bad guy, and that's Spider-Man, Peter Parker. You know, he's sending in all these pictures and he's working, and his boss wants everything to be set up to make Spider-Man look like a bad guy.
Yeah,
the vigilante that nobody wants, the guy that's always there when something bad happens.
Yep, you're right.
So Spider-Man, Peter Parker's Spider-Man, not so much Miles, but yeah, Spider-Man. I mean, he's a vigilante. He's always misunderstood. Mm-hmm. He's always not only got to take on a villain, but save the people and flee. Not get caught by the cops. The one thing about the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was Gwen's father was a cop, and and he was the whole time saying how this guy is making it harder for police, not better, and things like that. So yeah, he qualifies for sure as a vigilante.
Indeed.
And so Spider-Man, I got him as my number 4, which means my top 3 is pretty dope. If Spider-Man number 4. So now your bronze medalist, Matt. Number 3
Number
is
3. Numero 3, senor, is Red Hood. No, we've talked about this one, but I love Jason Todd. Love it. Love the resurrection from the pit, right? And Ra's al Ghul and him coming back. What I like about it is he chose the mantle of Red Hood to mess with Bruce, because the Red Hood was the Joker's original mantle in the first crime that turned him into the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
So to take on the mantle of the Red Hood, to say, now I'm going to be the epitome of crime, and pick the one, like your biggest mistake, basically, second to letting me die, was your first mistake, and how the Joker's the one that killed him, and how that all ties in is just chef's kiss of a character.
Yes.
For a story arc. Jason Todd jacking the wheels off of Batman's Batmobile at a young age, to the resurrection to the Red Hood, is just it. The arc is amazing. I love the Jason Todd from start to finish is just fantastic.
That's a great breakdown. That's a great breakdown.
You get Larry. You got to see it. It's on Max.
It's on Max.
It's on Max.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm on it.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Like, animated?
Animated.
I'm on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm on it. Yo, you turn me on to something.
You're number 3, Larry.
Oh, y'all talking about Red Hood. He just gave a whole analogy to Batman. Batman. It's like crazy how y'all just keep segueing my character. It's great. Batman, man. Like, I mean, we can go to Michael Keaton, the original one. I think the worst one was probably what's my man? Val Kilmer, probably the worst one ever. Him and George Clooney, terrible. I loved it. I love when they brought Christian Bale. I love what he did. I was just and then the Joker. The best one to me was definitely my man that died.
Heath Ledger.
Keith Ledger. Heath Ledger the best outside of Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
O2 right there. I thought he just he put a great twist on it. I mean, a real good twist on it. Batman, man. Just it's Batman. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yep.
Even Ben Affleck is a great Batman. Like, he was great. He was a great Batman. He surprised me. I didn't think he was going to be that good. And when they said Ben Affleck was going to be Batman, I said, Ben Affleck, come on, man. But he was good. He was great.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's
Batman. I mean, Batman is a standard.
Yeah.
Which says a lot because he has no superpowers. And he's a standard. Like growing up with my friends, when something was really good, not just good, but like elite good, whatever it was, a sneaker, a movie, a football player, whatever, we always used the term Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, he's Jordan. This is Jordan because it's the best of the best. That was the standard. You know, Hulk Hogan for a long time was the standard. I know it's professional wrestling, but you can use that. You'd be like, you know, this is Hulk Hogan. You know, whatever it is, this is Hulk Hogan. I think Batman is a standard.
Yeah.
I think when something is so great and you would think it has limitations and it's still so great. Superman outside of Kryptonite has no limitations.
Right.
You know, and I love Superman, but Batman is a human.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have, you know, he's got the belt and he's got the suit, which, you know, enhances his fighting style, but it doesn't give him, you know, super strength. It doesn't make him stronger like Iron Man makes Tony Stark stronger.
Right.
Something like that. I mean, he's a man, basically. He's a man with a semi ninja kind of outfit.
Yeah. Like,
you know,
Bruce Lee, but, you know, heavier.
Yeah, like Batman Begins.
Like if you had the money, you could be Batman. Like if you had the money,
you could get trained.
You could be Batman.
You could be Batman.
Yes.
You could be But with that being said, you could never be Batman.
Yeah, you can never be Batman.
No, you can never. You can learn to fight. You can wear an outfit,
right.
but you ain't gonna be that mofo.
Nah.
You ain't gonna be that guy.
Nah, not that
You're
guy.
You're gonna be Bruce Wayne. You
two steps ahead before you even walk in there.
Yes. So without too much drama, my number 3 is also Batman. I also have Batman. Now let me ask you guys this: who is your favorite Batman and why? Because I got a feeling that my favorite Batman will stand alone. Not that you'll agree, but I think that neither one of you two are going to pick my Batman. Who's your favorite?
My best Batman be Adam West.
Adam West from the TV show?
Yeah, sure. That's my favorite one because that's what I grew up on. That's what I grew up on. I actually used to come home from school and watch that Batman series.
So did I.
That was like the one. That was the one. That was the one for me. Yeah.
It was a little too campy for me, but I appreciated, them doing it like comic book style with the bam and the boom. Robin was like a little
different eyebrows.
Yeah. And the other thing was, not for nothing, but Adam West had a little bit of a belly, a little bit, little bit of pudge, with the belt underneath, a little bit of a muffin top going on, a little bit.
Yeah, Christian Bale.
No. I'm
Adam West.
I'm talking about Adam West in the series.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying who you have as yours.
I want to do mine last. I want Matt.
Okay.
I want Matt to go.
All right.
Matt, I don't think you guys are going to pick my guy. You didn't.
So, I'm going to have a very unpopular opinion here.
Oh, my gosh. Now, maybe he is going to pick my guy.
Because...
Don't say Clooney. Don't you do it.
I'm not going to say Clooney.
Don't you say Val Kilmer. Don't you do it.
I'm going to say Pattinson.
Oh,
and here's
the new one.
Here's why. Hear me out. Love Christian Bale. Loved Keaton. He's the GOAT. Love Kilmer was good. I liked his acting. I liked all their portrayals. I think the closest probably Christian Bale, but when I watched the Batman, I walked out of that theater feeling like I left Gotham City. Like I just left a Batman movie. I didn't quite care for the the Bruce Wayne part of it, but as far as a Batman, I really liked it. It was simplistic. Year 2, he was still learning, but he was badass, and it looked Arkham. If you ever played the Arkham games on console, like it looked amazing and intimidating. As far as like a movie, a film that makes you feel like you're watching a Batman movie, I really liked that adaptation.
So I agree with you that I liked Pattinson as his portrayal of Batman. Not my favorite, but
Right.
you said when you walked out, you felt like you watched Batman, like you were walking out of Gotham City.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like when I walked out of the movies, I was wet because the whole movie was wet. Between raining and the flood, I felt like I was soaking wet when I left.
Yes, so much water.
Oh, I felt
It was a lot
So
of
much
water.
water.
It was
Yes.
a lot of water.
It was
A lot of water.
Well, Batman 2 is gonna be Mr. Freeze, so it makes sense. He's gonna freeze all the water.
Well, also, did you see that Max is going to have a Penguin series? It's
Yeah.
going,
I think it's coming out next month. I think it's soon.
Yeah. So
Colin Farrell did a great job.
He did a great job.
He did a great job.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
he did a great job.
Nailed it.
My top Batman. I'm glad none of you said it, although you got me nervous there for a second there, Matt. Let's see if you recognize the name. My top Batman is Kevin Conroy.
The animated Batman, the
animated
animated
guy who
series.
Voiced Batman in the
So I didn't know if we were
series.
doing voice actors because I was gonna throw that in there, but
and he was also in when they did those crossovers with the Flash and Green Arrow and all that stuff. They brought in the actor Kevin Conroy, who has passed away now. They brought him in, and he played like a Batman or something, and he did the voice. He doesn't normally talk like that. That's not how he sounds, but he does that Batman voice in the video games, in a bunch of the animated movies and the animated series, including the Batman Beyond. He does the voice of the old Batman.
Yeah.
That's
my amazing. Love Kevin Conroy. Amazing.
Conroy. Yeah.
That's a great pick for Batman. Yes.
That's my guy. All right. Top 2, the silver medalist. Matt, who's
number
your guy?
2.
Almost good enough to be number 1, but he's number 2.
Almost good enough to be number 1, but hit that silver medal. Spawn. Absolutely love Todd McFarlane's Spawn. Love it. The comics were my favorite growing up. I think it gave me the spooky nature that I love. My love of horror, my love of everything just came from Spawn. The imagery in the comics and the Todd McFarlane animated movie, and then was it Michael Jai White that did the movie for Spawn? And that was, pretty decent for his time, I guess. He's like, nah. But I personally, just based on the comics more than anything, is just Spawn is just one of the coolest vigilantes. Obviously, he made my number 2, but he's second coolest ever vigilante, in my opinion. Just taking people out, pulling the mask on, pulling it off, the chains, the big wings, just oh my God, the Hell Spawn army that he commands is just, they don't get into a lot of that much, but he's got so many more abilities and so many authorities in Hell that really they go into the comics. It's so cool. Love Spawn.
I love Spawn. I love that series that they had on HBO, which I think Max still has it. It's from the 90s. It's pretty adult.
It is.
Comic books, the cartoon, loved it. That movie did not do it justice. It had a lot of potential. But it did not do it justice. Didn't really do it justice. Spawn versus Ghost Rider. Who you got?
Oh, that's
Ooh.
a good one.
The chains versus the chain.
Chain versus the
Hell,
chain.
going to hell versus
Are go-
sending you to hell.
Yo, send you. Ah, man, it's a great one. I don't know,
I
man.
think I'm still picking Spawn though, just
Yeah, I'll probably be picking Spawn too on that one.
because Spawn is Spawn, whereas doesn't Johnny Blaze? He only has so many transformations, right? Or is it just unlimited? I thought there was a clause where he got certain transformations, and then it wasn't. He couldn't do it anymore, unless granted so by who gave him the powers. It wasn't Satan, but it was like a right hand. I can't remember the name of the guy who did it, but I'm still picking Spawn, I think.
Okay, you're right about. I don't know who would win. It's a photo finish, but I will say the advantage is that Spawn is always Spawn. Ghost Rider is not always Ghost Rider, and it can leave and go into another person.
Yep.
So Spawn can find a way, to make the Ghost Rider turn. He can turn back into Johnny Blaze. Mm-hmm. So that's the advantage. So you might have it there. All right, Larry, you're number 2.
You mentioned my number 2, bro. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, hell yeah.
Spider-Man.
Classic.
Spider-Man's classic, bro.
Bread and butter.
Peter Parker Spider. Yeah, Peter Parker Spider-Man. Early morning, man. Growing up, we used to go through the buildings and Spider-Man, that Spider-Man, the original cartoon sparked everything. Spider-Man. The dude I used to wish that when I grew up I could see what we see now. This Spider-Man. Yeah, that was probably my very first cartoon, man. I can remember, man. Early in the morning before I go to school, man. Spider-Man, come on, man.
You remember the Spider-Man with Iceman and Firestorm?
The Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yes.
I love that series.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Classic.
Yeah. And that series introduced me to the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had an episode where they visited Professor Xavier's school of the gifted, and that introduced me to the X-Men, and Wolverine and all them, and the Juggernaut, because the Juggernaut came and attacked the school like out of the blue, and it took Spider-Man, Iceman, Firestorm, Professor Xavier, Wolverine, Cyclops, took all of them to beat the Juggernaut.
Yeah, Juggernaut is a piece of work, man, with the helmet on.
Yeah, he's a bad dude. Spider-Man's awesome. You know how I feel about that. My number 2 is the Punisher. Frank Castle. I mean, to me, that you think vigilante, superhero, it's hard to have anybody else pop into your mind first. Now, you might like others better. You might like Batman better or Blade better. But when you first think vigilante, superhero, this is a former soldier. This is a former, what was he, FBI? His family gets murdered, and he comes back. Everybody knows he's around, but he always fights in secret. He travels around in his van with all his weapons. He has no friends. He has no partners. Coincidentally, if you're going after the same people he's going after, it looks like a team up, but it's not, because he ain't trying to help out Daredevil or Spider-Man or anybody else. He's not. He's doing his own thing. They had the comic book series where the Punisher was fighting Wolverine, which was awesome when you get two good guys fighting each other. Who's gonna win? You know what I'm saying? So Punisher, the movies, I liked all 3 movies. 3. Dolph Lundgren, 1990. Thomas Jane, 2004, with John Travolta. And the third one, I can't remember his name. He recently died, but he was the bad guy in the Osaka series on Disney Plus.
It was, oh my God, I know
he just died.
James something, right? Oh my God.
I can't remember his name. British guy. Been in a lot of movies. He played Frank Castle.
He did a great job too.
That one is probably the most violent of the three. Probably my least favorite of the three. But I liked all three. I liked them in Daredevil. I liked the 2 seasons of Punisher. And there's also talk that they're going to bring the guy who played him in the series. They're going to have him play Punisher, make appearances in some other Marvel movies down the road. Have his own movie, but his character will be in, like Blade was in, Daredevil this past movie or whatnot. Because they like him playing that character, and he's probably going to get another season too. Now that the Disney Plus isn't rated G anymore, and you can have all those adult movies on there too with the violence and the cursing and stuff like that. They'll bring it back because the first 2 seasons were on Netflix. They'll bring it to Disney Plus now. All right, that's my number 2. All right, Matt, big finish. Your number 1, and there can only one. I would say there can only be one.
Only be one. Number 1, numero uno, Batman. Number 1. For the same reason I think that you said that you chose Punisher. So as number 2, just because when I think, say like, oh, somebody put on a mask and is fighting crime, I think Batman. You know what I mean? It's just and like you said, Batman is the standard, the staple. He's the guy. He ignited the fire. I feel like Batman, if it weren't for Batman, we wouldn't have half of the DC Comics world. So much has become so popular and so profitable for a lot of people because of what happened from the Batman, the comics, the animated series, the live adaptations. I mean, it's a timeless classic. Batman has definitely got to be my number 1 as far as vigilantes in a sweet, timeless backstory. Parents died. I need revenge.
Well, DC Comics is Batman. The original Batman, he was always referred to as detective. They refer to him as detective. DC Comics, Detective Comics. He is DC Comics. He's the number 1 most popular character in DC Comics. Not Superman, not Wonder Woman.
Batman.
It's Batman. It's Batman. The guy that people will argue isn't a superhero because he doesn't have superpowers, which is ridiculous. Because if he's not a superhero, then that means the Joker, Lex Luthor, those guys aren't super villains because what's their superpowers?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so
crazy and smart.
Yep.
And the fact that he can fight Superman and beat him because he was smart enough to use kryptonite as a weapon.
You've seen it.
He did it. Yep. He did it in Frank Miller's version in the comics. He
Lex
did it in Frank
Luthor
Miller's version of the animated movie, and it was done in the live action movie.
Yeah, Luthor puts the kryptonite, keeps it in a rock, and throws it at Superman's feet. Bruce Wayne grinds it into powder and makes the man inhale it into his lungs. It's like just 2 different levels,
Right. Yeah.
You take it all in. You should take it all in. Yeah. That's called fear.
That's fear.
And one more thing about Batman, even though he is a human, what's his weakness?
That's a good one. It ain't emotions. He's emotionless.
I mean, he's built his body against poisons. He's built his mind against, mind control.
Yeah.
He beats guys that are way bigger
and powerful than him. Yep.
He beats Bane every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think he has one, does he?
I don't think he does. For a guy that's only human.
He adapts to every situation.
Honestly, I think his weakness is Robin. I think that's his weakness.
Yeah, that would be the only.
When he's by himself, he has Alfred helping him from the Batcave.
Yep.
No weakness. Yep. He has all the technology. He has all the money. He has all the resources.
Every time he's captured, he's not captured.
You're right.
He finds a way to get if you catch him because he wanted you to get him where he needed to get to because he's that smart to say, okay, you thought you got me, but you never got me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We hit you from air, land, sea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't get around them.
Nope.
It doesn't matter if you're bigger, stronger. He'll beat Bane. He'll beat Killer Croc.
Nope.
He'll beat all those guys.
Mhm.
I mean, they'll kick his ass the first or second time, but ultimately, he's
he's
win.
gonna come back with a new strategy.
Yeah.
He's gonna, yeah.
Right.
Look at the animated movie Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Batman fights Shredder twice.
Mhm.
Shredder beats him the first time, but not the second time.
Not the second time. That
Not
was
the
a great
second.
fight scene.
Both fight scenes were good.
Yeah.
Both of them were
Yep.
good.
Took
Yeah,
Shredder's head and jammed it into the electric panel with his metal helmet. That was so fun.
that was really good. Another good animated movie for you, Larry.
Okay.
Batman versus.
Ooh.
Is
Yeah,
it
don't
Batman
sleep
versus-
on DC Animated Universe. They're chucking out bangers.
Yes, they are. They are. Larry, your number.
Oh man,
You're Jordan. You're
my
Jordan.
Jordan, man. My Jordan is, I don't know if he's vigilante, but they got him as a vigilante. Wolverine, man. The Wolverine.
Hey,
That's
wears
my
a mask
number
and he fights crime, right? That's a
Yeah.
vigilante.
That's a vigilante. That's
And
my
half
number
the
one.
time he's not with the X-Men.
No, he's not. He's on his own mission, and he wreaks havoc everywhere he go. Like he's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Wolverine, man. Wolverine, like it's like one of the best characters ever made. Was Wolverine, titanium steel. Like the shame they died in Logan. Like
he's so good.
Love that choice. Yeah,
that there are times that he makes a cameo in a movie, and that cameo is the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
I think that's happened twice.
Yeah,
in X-Men First Class.
Yep.
When he tells him to F off.
Yep. Yeah, at the bar at the end.
At the bar, and in the X-Men with the Apocalypse, when he's what they call him, Experiment X or something like that, and he's got all the contraptions on him and all that. That was the best part of that movie, was bringing him in there for 5 minutes.
Yeah. That was kind of cool to see, because I didn't know that was going to be in that movie when I saw it first. It was
pretty disappointing.
Really cool to see. Well, I mean that scene.
that movie was not great.
It had so much potential.
It had especially of Days of Future Past, which in my opinion is the best X-Men movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's when they bought the Sentinels, and you see just how bad they really were. Yeah, they were bad. Them Sentinels were bad. I mean, we saw them the first one. Yeah, they adapted. Oh my goodness, they was the first ones though. We seen them in the first ones. They was cool, but the future ones,
yeah,
they couldn't stop them at all.
Story was so good, and there's 2 versions of that movie. If you see the Rogue cut, it's even better. Because instead of having Ellen Page, or now she's Elliot Page, she's not a she anymore. Instead of her having Logan and sending him back, they bring in Rogue, and because remember when Logan takes out the claws and he scratches her and she gets hurt and she's like hurt and she's doing that thing. Well, in the Rogue version, when she gets hurt, Rogue can adapt other mutants' powers. She adapts her powers and she sits in for her, and she's the one doing it to Wolverine while he's back in the past. So that version, the Rogue version, is even better than the original Days of Future Past. Listen, Wolverine was always the most popular guy in the comic books from the X-Men, but his role wasn't any bigger than Colossus or Cyclops or anybody else. He's still, in the comic books, for the most part, it was still like equal. Like, he was like 1/5 of the team. When the movie came out, that was the end of that.
Yeah.
The world fell in love with Hugh Jackman, fell in love with him playing that role. And even if it was an X-Men movie, he had the leading role in it. He was the guy. He was the unknown actor that became the biggest actor of all of them. So that's a great get, the Wolverine. My number one, it was already said, it's this guy right here.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yes.
That's my guy. And despite Nicolas Cage trying so hard to take that away from me, even he couldn't do it. That's my favorite character. That's the guy that if you could be any kind of superhero, if you could pick one, who would you pick? That's the guy I'd want to be. That's him. I want to ride that cool bike. I want to hear that music playing in the background of when the Ghost Rider. What's that music with the guitar? Because they played it in the first movie when he's riding his bike and the other dude is on the horse and they're riding together. It's called it's got Ghost Rider in or something in the name.
Really?
Yes.
I'll have to listen to the song.
Oh gosh. I'll find it on YouTube and I'll send it to you. I'm assuming both of you got YouTube on your phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll send it to you, and once you hear it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember hearing this, and you'll make the connection. It's called something. Riders in the Sky. That's what it's called. Riders. And it's no singing. It's just guitar. It's just guitar. Riders in the Sky, and it's in the first movie.
Cool.
That's my top 10. I do have 3 honorable mentions. I should have 4. My 4th would be the Incredible Hulk, and the 3 Ds: Deadshot, Daredevil, Deathstroke. Those would be my guys that almost made the list, and Spawn's right there too. Spawn is right there too. So
heck yeah.
So I'll give you
those are great honorable mentions.
Any honorable mentions for you guys? Any for you? Man. Almost made it or didn't quite make it?
So I almost put in. So I had a couple that I put in, but they weren't on a top 10. So I had Judge Dredd. I had Blade, but we talked about that. The Shadow. I don't know if you ever watched that old show.
Alec Baldwin.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And then
Darkman. What about Darkman?
Darkman. Yes. Oh my God, I forgot
Darkman.
Darkman. And then I had Huntress and Elektra.
I thought about Huntress, not Elektra. I thought about Black Canary.
Yeah.
And I thought about also Green Arrow. I thought about him too, but like I said, I didn't pick him because his comp is Hawkeye, and I like Hawkeye better. So, yeah. Anybody else for you, Larry, or your 10 is your 10?
I was good. My 10. Man, I was good, man. I was solid.
Your 10 is your 10. Well,
I gave me some great ones, man. Rorschach, yeah, that's my man. Or Watchmen, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Him and Mr. And what was it, my man, the blue guy, Mr.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan. Yeah, Dr. Manhattan. That
Dr.
man.
Yeah,
love
the strongest mutant, wasn't he? He was the strongest ever, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He could have done anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
He did. He killed Rorschach like that.
Like that, yep.
Yeah.
Just like that, man.
So cool.
That made me sad.
Cool.
But what are you going to do? All right. Well, with that being said, that is our show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Remember to hit like and subscribe if you like the content. Be sure to tell a friend. Special thanks to my main man, Matt. Thank you for joining. We will
thank you.
Enjoy yourself. And we'll do this again.
Yes.
Halloween, Christmas, the Oscars, special occasions. A movie like this triggers a top 10 list. So, let's do it again. We'll be back in 2 weeks at our regular time. Wednesdays, we're going to be talking sports again, be talking football preseason, starting tomorrow. Hall of Fame game. Bears, Texans, not playing any of the starters. Whatever. Who wants to watch that?
I'm not watching that one.
I am a glutton for punishment. I got to see the backups and the third strings and the fourth.
Okay.
It's my team. It's the Hall of Fame game. I got to do it. I got 3 guys that played for the Bears making the Hall of Fame this year, so I got to do it. Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. That's for sure. So that being said, we will be back in 2 weeks, 2 Wednesdays from today, talking sports once again, as my Canadian friends would say. So for Larry Loper, Matt Shackelford, I'm Gil and Lary, telling everybody stay safe and enjoy your fellow man, your fellow brother. Have a great weekend, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks. Deuces.
Great show, fellas.
See you guys.
Man, appreciate you having us, man.
Good
Thanks for coming, Matt.
Thanks for having me. It was a great time.
Yes, sir.